Spell out your ideas. Write it down. Somebody said that the faintest pen or pencil is sharper than the brightest brain. It's sharper than the brightest brain. Don't tell me you have an idea and I say, okay, let's hear you. Have you written it down? You say, no, it's in my head. How about if you forget it? And that may be the life-transforming, life-changing idea that you need. That may be the break that you need, but now you have forgotten about it. So write it down. Specify, spell it out. Number 3, speak it until it becomes real. You can't tell me you have an idea that you want me to invest in. You have an idea you want me to help you to execute, and you are not convinced about it. If you're not convinced about your idea, why should I be convinced about it? It's your idea, it's your brainchild, it's your thought. So you must be convinced about it. And personally, I've come to realize that when you talk about something often, the power of conviction comes in. It becomes real to you. And when it becomes real to you, then it will be very easy for you to sell it out. Okay? So we have talked about defining your idea, and we said be specific, spell it out, speak about it. That is on defining your idea. Number 2 is, when it comes to ideas, when it comes to monetizing your ideas, you need to ask yourself, is there a market for this idea? Don't bring up an idea that there is no market for. Don't bring up an idea that you have not created market for. If there is no market for that idea, then create a market for it. If there is a market for the idea, well and good. Now, if you're not sure if there is a market for the idea, then you can do some things to know if there is a market, or you can create the market yourself. What do you need to do? You can do a sampling. If you are maybe producing a product, for example, now, and you're not sure if there's a market for it, just do some samples, get your friends, your family members, and ask them to give you, honest assessment or honest view about the product. Now, by the time they test the product or use the product or whatever it is, and they give you their view, then you would know if that idea is going to fly or not. Now, if it's an idea that will not fly, there's no point pursuing it. You may want to keep it. It is possible that is not the right time for the idea to fly. Yes, it is not every idea that was not accepted that will not fly. No. The fact that the idea was not accepted now does not mean that the idea will not fly later. This may be that this is not the right time for the idea to fly. It may fly later on. I heard the story of the owner of Zoom, the young man that developed the app for Zoom, that he was working with Cisco. And when he came up with the idea, the boss showed it to his boss. The boss was like, no, we don't need this now. It's not going to work. We need something like Facebook and the rest of that. Okay, he kept it. But then, during the COVID-19 pandemic, he came up with it, and everybody everywhere in the world jumped on it. And within 4 or 5 months, he made so much billions, in dollars. So it may be that this is not the right time for that idea to fly. So the fact that people condemned it, the fact that nobody believed in it, doesn't mean that it's not fly. All right. So I've talked about sampling. I've talked about getting people's opinion. You may also want to Google, do some search on Google to know, is anybody doing this thing already that I'm thinking of doing? And if they are doing it, how are they doing it? Where are they doing it? What is it taking them to do it? And the rest of that. So that is all on creating a market for your idea. Now, the next thing is, what is the right time for that idea? What is the right time for the execution of the idea? I said earlier that the fact that people don't believe or do not believe in your idea at the moment does not mean that that idea will not fly. First, you must believe in your idea. It is your idea. You must believe in it and write it down. Like we said, spell it out, be specific, talk about it until you are convinced. Now, what is the right time for it? Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1 says there is time for everything. If you bring out your idea when it is not the right time for that idea, it may die. It may die, in medical terms, it is called brought in dead, BID, brought in dead or dead on arrival. So you see some very laudable ideas, as soon as you bring them to the market, as soon as you bring them to the table, they are dead already. because you didn't create the right environment. You didn't know the right timing for you to bring out that idea. So as soon as it came, it died. So you need to know, is this the right time for this idea to be made manifest, to be exposed, to be discussed, to be brought to the market, or whatever it is? Joseph had an idea in the Bible. What was the idea? He was going to rule, and his parents, his siblings, everybody were going to bow to him. But he brought out that idea at the wrong time. And because he brought it out at the wrong time, it almost cost him his life. But thank God for divine intervention, it was preserved. But sometimes not everybody have that kind of divine opportunity to experience the divine intervention. So because God intervened, his idea was preserved. And at the right time, it came forth. And when it came forth, it was fully made manifest. So what is the right timing for your idea? All right. The next question is, who and who do you need to execute your idea? You don't need everybody around you to execute your idea. There are some people that are idea killers. There are some people that are pessimistic. You don't need pessimistic persons or people around you. For you to scale through in life, you need to be optimistic, and you need people that are also optimistic. For Jesus Christ, he had three layers or three levels of people that were around him. He had the 70 disciples, he had the 12 apostles, and he had the 3 inner caucus members. So when it was time to send out everybody for evangelism, he sent out the 70 disciples. When it is time to go to the upper room to have the Last Supper, he was with the 12 apostles. But when it was time for him to go to the Mount of Transfiguration, he went with the 3 inner caucus members. So you needed to know, who do you need, on your journey to your financial prosperity? Who do you need on this your journey to executing your ideas? It is not everybody around you, and that simply means that you should not share your ideas with everybody. That simply means that you should not bring everybody on board your ideas, because you don't need everybody. Okay, so the next thing is, what is the best location? What's the best location for the execution of your ideas? What's the best location? For example, if your idea is to maybe manufacture torchlight, you should know that torchlight does not sell and will not sell in a place like Europe. Why? They have regular power supply. So location matters. That was why when God was dealing with Abraham in the Bible, at a point he needed to tell him to leave his father's house on the other side of the Mediterranean Sea, because the God was going to give to Abraham cannot be executed on that side of the sea. He needed to come to this other side. So he left his father and his mother, as it were, to a land he didn't know, because that is where the idea was going to be executed. And when he got there, of course, we are told that the rest is history, because everything went as God wanted it. Now, lastly, you need to protect your idea. You need to protect your idea. Very, very important. How do you protect your idea? If it is an invention, you can patent that invention. Okay? If it is a design, you can trademark the design. If it is a literary work, you can get copyright on it. All right? Now, if it is just something that has to do with talk, then you can get whoever it is you want to sign with or discuss it with to sign what you call a non-disclosure agreement. These are ways you can protect your ideas. Remember, if it's an invention, you can get a patent. If it's a mark or a logo or something, get your trademark for it. If it is a literary work or an artistic work, get a copyright for it. And if it's just something that is written down in a book format or something, then you need to get a non-disclosure agreement. Don't forget that you need to study the market before you bring in your ideas. Study the market. Be consistent in what you do. And you must be ready to go the extra mile. Don't just say, I have an idea and that is it. You sit down, you fold your hands, you sleep. No, you must be ready to go the extra mile, because you cannot make money if you are not ready to go the extra miles. Now, as an aside, apart from all of these things I have said now, you must also have the mind of a marketer. You must have the mind of a marketer. What does that mean? You must know how to package your idea. You must know how to price your idea, and you must know how to promote your idea. You must know how to package your idea. You must know how to price your idea, and you must know how to promote your ideas. So when you do all of these things, then you are ready to make money from your idea. Remember that money is an idea, like we said before. And when you understand it from this perspective, then it's very easy for you to make money. Stay tuned as we continue our talk in our next episode. Thank you.